Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a while since I've done a reading. I know it's been a while since I've been on, about a week. It's been a pretty tough week. We had the full moon in Leo, which was a super full moon, and it was supercharged. I don't know about you guys. I haven't been paying too much attention to the collective because I've been busy trying to process what is going on in my life and internally, especially this weekend. There's a lot coming up this weekend. That I've just been trying to process and work through. Um, but I am on here because I have gotten a lot of downloads, I've gotten a lot of messages, and I feel like I finally got the green light to relay them. I kept wanting to do readings, I kept wanting to come on and do this video, but it just did not feel time, and now it finally feels like it's time. So I'm going to go back to the beginning. I spent a lot of time this past week with my person. We spent a lot of time together. And as you guys know, when you guys come together in reunion, in the process of sacred union, there's a lot of energy that comes up between you two. It can feel intense. It can also feel beautiful. But when you part ways again, you know, whether you go home to your separate houses or, you know, you just spend a day or two apart, that is the time for integration. And so a lot can come up for processing during that time. Let me go even further back. My Divine Masculine and I, my person and I, spent last Saturday together watching a movie. We were having a great day. We have been really working on communication, not giving up on each other, really working through a lot of the issues that have come up between us, especially with regards to relationship. Now, I like to say that a lot of what comes up between you isn't necessarily between you two, it's the karma and the pain and the past patterns and beliefs and habits and all that soul sludge, as I like to call it, that comes up to the surface, especially with these two divine counterparts, because you are each other's perfect mirror. You are each other's perfect match. You are that same soul. You are the same soul song. You are the same frequency. And everybody else can be reflections, but you guys are exact mirrors. And oftentimes you show up as, in this life, in this incarnation, as opposites. And that is on purpose. That is because you are the yin to each other's yang, the yang to each other's yin. You complete each other. And that does not mean that you are not whole on your own, but you complete each other in a way that no other person or relationship does. You truly are the same. Underneath all the opposites. This is not a case of opposites attract. This is, you are the same underneath, presenting outwardly in different ways, but that is for that soul growth. That is for the purpose of expansion. I'm going to get into this more in a series of videos I'm going to be doing, hopefully start recording this week, about the truth of divine counterparts, sacred union, things of that nature that I've channeled over the course of the past year on the Ascension series, Channeled Messages playlist. You can check those out there. But when I'm talking about these sacred partners, when I'm talking about true divine counterparts, this isn't just about a 3D relationship. This isn't just about the romance. This is you wanting partnership, yes. This is you wanting romance, of course, that's part of it. But this is that soul deep connection that you can feel. You feel that resonance within your heart. You know that your person not just is your person and as in a soulmate, but is your person as in a part of you. And that's what can make it so difficult. Because when you come here, you are that one soul that's split into two bodies. Plato talked about it. Aristotle talked about it. This is not anything new under the sun. It feels so new. It feels so challenging because it's not the paradigm in which we knew. It's not the love in which we knew. It's not the conditioning in which we knew. That's what can seem so challenging because it's not the 3D relationships we have had in the past, where yes, they can be strong and they can be full of so much love and compatibility. But this is a deeper resonance. This is truly divine love. You truly seeing the soul of each other because you are the same soul and loving each other. And my divine counterpart taught me that I can't love him fully unless I love myself. And I don't love myself without loving him. So when you guys come together in this incarnation, you are in the here and the now. All of your past lifetimes together, all your galactic lifetimes together, even when you were one original soul back with Source, all of that culminating in the here and the now. All of your multiverse, all of your multidimensionality culminating in the here and the now for this experience, for you to come back together, for you to clear the conditioning, for you to clear the patterns and the false beliefs. And so you were split into two bodies for accelerated soul growth, for accelerated expansion. Because what better way to experience than and soul growth than to experience in parallel with each other. And if you notice, when you guys are growing up, you might have different religions, you might have different ages, you might have different races, but underneath the core of who you are the same. You are the same. You might even have different views, but the values are the same. The understanding is the same. You just approach it in a different way, different ways of processing. It truly is the yin and the yang. And when you come together, you form that whole. And what they had shown me is that locks into place and it gets the wheel turning, because what you're doing is you are expanding the universe as you expand yourselves, and you are changing not just the vibration of this planet through your love, but the entire universe is expanding. Because as you grow, so does the universe. I've talked about that so much in the Ascension series. I'm going to do some short videos that explains everything that I've learned about this journey so far. If it's not resonating with you, don't take it. Disregard it. You know, you can move on to another teacher. I am just a guide, channeling through my experiences, through my filter. But feel free to go on to another teacher if what I am not saying here is not resonating with you. It just means it's not meant for you or your journey, and that's fine. We all have different approaches. We're on the same journey. Everybody, every single one of us on this planet is on a spiritual journey, but we're all at different stages. We're all at different places. We're all at different levels of understanding, and that is, you know, that is fine. So where was I saying? I'm gonna get into all of that. I don't know why they had me repeat that again, but I'm gonna get into all of that. That was just for a basic understanding. It's kind of like it's funny because they are showing me this, so I feel like they want me to say it. It's like Hermione. I forget which Harry Potter book and movie it is, but it's when she has the time turner, and she's in multiple places at once so that she can take more courses at once, so that she can learn more at once. It's exactly that. That is you and your divine counterpart. That is, you know, you split into, you're the same, but you're also different. You're the same in that you are the same underneath. You're the same soul, but you're experiencing differently in this incarnation. You may have grown up the same, but your divine counterpart might have gone down one path, you might have gone down the other, before that duality purpose, to experience duality, to understand what it's like. One person might be better at communication, the other person might have trouble expressing themselves, but it's so that you could experience what that's like, so that when you come together, you merge. And when you do come together in bettering your communication, you teach each other, you help each other, you grow together. That's the duality. But what's happening with these divine counterparts is you are coming together and you are merging as one. And as you merge as one, you're merging your lives together, your physical lives together as well. And that can be very, very challenging, because at the same time as your souls are merging together, at the same time as your energies are merging together, you're also merging together into a 3D relationship. And that can be challenging, because relationships can be challenging. But relationships, especially intimate relationships, are the greatest teachers we will ever have. And the relationship you have with your divine counterpart is truly the greatest mirror and the greatest teacher you will ever have. And it is the strongest bond and the truest love you will ever have. The problem is the fear that comes up. Maybe because you never experienced that before, or maybe because you thought you had and you were hurt. And that pain comes back to the surface. But the love that is between you, that exists between you, truly is pure and truly is genuine. Okay, going back to the beginning. My divine counterpart and I spent Saturday night together. We had a great day, and then we cooked some dinner, we watched a movie. We were watching a very nondescript movies from the 70s that ended up triggering me. And so I walked away and tried to process it. and figure out why was it triggering me. There was no true reason why it should have been triggering me, and yet it was. I was feeling all the emotion. And as I sat there, I was trying to go back through my mind and say, is this a memory that I had? Is this a past lifetime that I had? But it was like my mind was completely clear. It was like my mind was completely free of any drama, any pain, any memories. My heart at the same time felt very balanced and clear, but I was feeling everything. I was feeling grief. I was feeling pain. I was feeling like I was being suppressed, and that's what the trigger was. It was well, I'm not going to go there because I don't want to trigger anybody. But it was a trigger, and it was especially for the female collective, or the feminine energy collective, I want to say, because this has to do with males too, who have been suppressed, especially emotionally, especially with regards to expression of self, could even be physically. So it was a feminine energy of suppression that could have been occurring in males or females. Remember, when I do these channelings, we're not talking about gender. Gender is a very 3D concept. We're talking about energies. So my divine counterpart came into the kitchen, and I was trying to process, trying to hold back. I did not want to feel this. I was trying to suppress it too, but it all came up to the surface, and it was ugly. It was ugly. It was not pretty. It was sobbing and snot filled and pain. And at one point I even lashed out at him. Didn't mean it, but I even lashed out at him because it was just anger and grief and just pure pain. And he stood behind me, and I didn't understand that until I was meditating with spirit later. But he stood behind me, and that's an important part that I'll get to later. So my divine counterpart was there with me, and I tried processing this. I later spoke with a friend of mine who had done some past life work with me, and she said that there had been some past lifetimes where I had been suppressed like this, where I've been hurt and in pain like this. So it could have been that this was a past lifetime that was coming up. But what I understood from spirit was it was more than that. That was a trigger, but what I was actually doing was collective healing. My divine masculine and I, we were doing collective healing in that moment. I went home that night, and I recorded some messages to him because I was channeling, and as I was driving home, because I was talking to spirit and trying to understand what was happening. And there's a couple of things that happened. Number one, they said, it was all hands on deck. They said that it was not, so to speak, my pain, although yes, part of my not this incarnation, but past life incarnations was triggered by that. But what was actually happening was, because my divine masculine and I were together, what we were doing is we were actually doing collective healing at that time. And my divine masculine standing behind me was actually him protecting me as I was doing the transmuting, as I was doing the healing, the collective healing. And I wrote this down. They said, all hands on deck. And they said, empaths and light workers, those who are especially awakened, because we are having mass awakenings now. And I saw that with my friends. And I feel like it's interesting. I'm having throat chakra activations right now. If you guys can hear this. I'm having some throat chakra activations right now because I feel like these messages need to be said, but there are forces at work here that are trying to suppress even now. There's what I like to call interference that's occurring trying to not have these divine counterparts come together, because the work that you're doing is so powerful and so strong. And when you come together, the energies between you two, the love that is between you two is so powerful and so strong. You guys change worlds. You change worlds when you're together. It is that powerful and that strong. And the darker forces, the interference, will do everything it can to keep you two apart. Even kind of interfering within yourself and trying to bring up all that old fear and all that old wounding and all that old self-sabotage mechanism, which is what I'm feeling exactly today. I have been self-sabotaging myself for the past 2 days and trying to work through it. And I'm recognizing now, and I'm calling it out. But that's what happens when you come together. Your love is that strong. And that's why it's so important for you guys to heal together, because you are not just healing each other. You are healing the collective. You are healing the entire paradigm. You are healing the world. And they just said the word galaxy. You are healing the entire universe, because as you are coming together and healing, you are expanding. Healing feels like an improper word because you are not broken. You are never broken. What you are is awakening. What you are is remembering. And you can't go back to sleep when you are awakened. You do not go back to sleep. You just go through more and more layers and levels of awakening, deeper and deeper. Where once you thought you reached this level of awakening, you thought you were fine, you go through the spiral again. It's a spiral of understanding. You go through more levels of awakening where all those false beliefs, all those beliefs that you thought you reached, now it's another tier. Now it's another level where you are just understanding more and more and more about yourself and about the journey. And so the tower is always going to crumble down. And it's funny because that Bastille song about Pompeii, I can't remember it now, but they've been singing it to me for the past 2 days. It's, and the world keeps crumbling down. It's the tower keeps crumbling down. It feels like it keeps crumbling down because you are meant to be building on a more stable foundation. You are meant to be rising and leveling up, and that is what's happening. You are not crumbling. You are not broken. You're not even going back to sleep. You are just leveling up. You are expanding. You are growing. And sometimes growth feels so painful. Because remember, the butterfly doesn't just become the butterfly. The caterpillar goes into the chrysalis, completely breaks down into the goo, and from there, he is reborn into the butterfly. And then he comes out of the chrysalis, and then he flies. So there's mass awakenings happening right now on the planet. The entire planet is waking up because the entire planet is shifting and starting to go through this process of ascension. The planet itself, Mother Gaia itself, herself, is going through ascension. And so all of us on this planet is going through ascension as well and waking up to it. And I see it. Everybody is on a spiritual journey. But those who are not conscious of the spiritual journey are going through this as well. And I saw it with some friends of mine who have been having trouble in their marriage. It's all the stuff that's coming up to the surface. And I've seen this through the past couple of years with my friends who are not so-called spiritual. They're going through this journey. They're going through this awakening as well. It just might not look like it has for us, because we truly are the way showers. We truly are leading the way, the pioneers who are guiding those who are just starting to become conscious of it, just starting to become aware of it. But everybody has their path, but we're all on the same path. We're all in this together. Collectively, we are waking up. Collectively, we are ascending. Collectively, we are shifting. And everybody might be doing it in their own time, on their own journey, in their own path, in their own way. But we're all in this together. And so all hands are on deck. Those of you who are empaths, light workers, way showers, the pioneers, you are all, it's what they said was an emotional collective healing. You are collectively healing now. You might have been doing this for yourself. You might have been doing the active healing for your own soul growth and expansion. But now, especially when you're coming into the process of sacred union with your divine counterpart, you're doing the healing collectively. And you are, for those of you who are resonating with this, you are already in sacred union. It might not be harmonious quite yet, but you are in sacred union with your divine counterpart because you are working together. And what you will find is that you and your divine counterpart are communicating and expressing yourself together more. You are finding ways to understand each other more. You are open to understanding each other more. Where before you might have had more of an egocentric view of this journey, where you were doing the healing work for your soul growth and for yourself and not fully understanding or embracing the other counterpart. But that was for your own soul growth, for your own soul expansion, so you could understand the journey and yourself. But now what's happening is those individual paths that you had once taken, it felt like this. Now what's happening is you are now converging with your partner. And that's what sacred union is. It's that convergence. It's the merging of energies. And as you merge those energies, now you are coming together to merge your 3D world. And that can feel very scary. It can feel very, very frightening. Because in a way, you are going into the unknown. In a way, this hasn't been done before. And so, with this stage of sacred union, you're going to be still having stuff that comes up between you two, but you're going to find that you're more willing to be open, to find that common ground, to understand each other better. And you do understand each other better than you understand anybody. You truly, truly do. You truly feel like home together. The energies between you two, when you come into physical reunion, can feel very intense. So there might be times when you take some time apart, where you kind of go your separate ways again. But those times are going to become fewer and fewer and fewer. Because you truly are meant to do this together. It's just the fear that comes up. It's the self-sabotage. It's the pain. And what is that pain but fear? What is that pain really but that fear? And what is self-sabotage but ego? But that is what you're dismantling. That's what you're dissolving as you come together. That is what your love is overcoming. And so you might need some time apart to integrate the energies, because the energy can feel so overwhelming and so intense. And it's like, what I'm hearing is, I don't know what to do with it. I don't know what to do with it. I don't know what to do with all of this intense energy and love that I'm feeling. But that's what it is. It is love. We might not always recognize it as such, because we haven't truly experienced this love before. And so we try to protect ourselves and we try to guard our heart, when really our soul is calling for us to open up. And when you come together with your divine counterpart and you feel that joy and you feel that love, that is what you're doing. You're opening up your heart. And when you kind of separate again, if you go home for the day, or if you don't talk for a day or two, you feel all that familiar fear come back up again to the surface to be cleared. And it's only because the love that you felt was so intense. And that urge that you feel to be in that love forever is so intense. And that can be very, very frightening. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the stages of sacred union in an upcoming video series. I'm going to talk about union as a whole. I'm going to talk about more about divine counterparts as a whole. You can call it twin flames, twin souls. The labels don't matter. It's that high vibrational, soul deep resonance that you feel, that love that you feel. But there's one more thing I want to talk about today. A couple of weeks ago, I channeled something called the Healer and the Warrior. This was given to me in a download late at night. And I talked a little bit about it, I think on a daily energy draw. What they had channeled to me was the divine feminine energy is the healer in the connection. The divine masculine energy is the warrior in the connection. And you understand this if you understand feminine and masculine energy. The feminine energy is the one that is intuitive. She has that higher level wisdom that she brings down to the lower dimensions. And I channeled this maybe a year or two ago. When I first started this channel, we were talking about the chakras. And the feminine energy really exists in the higher level chakras. She's very good at communicating. She's very good at expressing herself. That is divine feminine energy. Open to expression. Not holding herself back. She is one who is very connected to the higher dimensions, very connected to herself. She's very intuitive. She's very open. She's very open to receiving. She's very open to flow. Masculine energy is very much in a place of authority, very much a leader, very much in control. Now, when we say authority and control, we don't mean the corrupted, manipulative energy of this 3D paradigm of the patriarchy as it has. The patriarchy as we know it now truly is that distorted masculine energy. It's that corrupt control. The masculine energy, when they are in a place of control, is really in a place of taking action, leadership, authority. They know themselves, they are honest with themselves, they are authoritative with themselves. And as such, they can be assertive. As such, they can take control of the situation because they are very grounded. The masculine energy is very grounded. And they reside, so the feminine energy resides, so to speak, in the higher level chakras. That's the crown chakra, the brow chakra or third eye chakra, and the throat chakra. The masculine energy is very grounded. They are stable. They are secure. They're in the root chakra, the sacral chakra, and the solar plexus chakra. I'm getting the word sacred with the sacral chakra. They maintain the connection in a sacred way. What happens is the divine feminine energy brings the template down. The divine masculine energy creates that sacred space and helps to rise. And what happens is you meet in the fourth chakra. What they channeled to me was the bridge of the heart. You meet on the bridge. And it was a beautiful reading. Meet me on the bridge of the heart. That's what the masculine always said to the divine feminine. Meet me on the bridge of the heart. That's what going in your heart space is. That's what connecting to your masculine is, or your feminine, whichever one. That's what connecting there with your divine counterpart energy is. You meet on the bridge of the heart. Everything happens within the heart space. And it's not the physical heart, of course, it's the spiritual heart. Everything happens on that bridge. That is also how you manifest, because it's not just a thought process manifestation. You also have to feel it. You also have to believe it. You also have to know it within the heart space. And so the masculine energy really is that protective energy for the divine feminine, and I wish I brought it up here with me. All right, you guys, they told me to go get it because the image is that powerful. It is my favorite image in all of the tarot decks I have, in all of tarot. It is that powerful, and it holds that much magnitude, that much love in this picture. It's from the Gilded Tarot deck. That's what the back looks like if you guys are interested. I think it's the original. I think there's another one that just came out, another version of the Gilded Tarot that just came out, but this is the original. I actually used to keep this beside my bed because it meant that much to me. It was so strong of an image to me, so powerful of an image. This is divine masculine and divine feminine in their divine energy, in their divinity, in their power, in sacred union. It is you see the energy that's pouring down from source into them both. That is that love energy. And it's not, what they're telling me is it's not just source pouring down through them, it's their love pouring back up. Remember in the beginning, this is why they had me channel all of that in the beginning for this reading, for this video, even though I'm going to go over it in another reading. This is how you change the world, how your love changes the world, how your love expands the entire universe. This is not just source energy pouring down on both of you, but your love rising up to spell out across the entire universe, the whole of creation. And you see how divine masculine is holding divine feminine up? You see how protective he is of her? You see how strong he is? You see how sure of himself he is? And divine feminine is just open to receiving, open heart, vulnerable in her nakedness. And we're not just talking physical nakedness, we're talking emotional vulnerability, we're talking emotional openness. Both of them strong in their power, both of them strong in themselves, supporting each other, holding each other up. This is equality here. Divine masculine might be holding her up, but she is strong in her own right. That is this healer warrior energy. Divine feminine being the healer energy, divine masculine being the protector, the warrior energy. Now understand, what they said to me was that you're both, because you hold both energies within you. You hold both the divine masculine energy within you, you hold both the divine feminine energy within you. And they're giving me the word template. You hold both templates within you. And now remember, for these divine counterparts, you are in two separate bodies, but you also have that energy within yourself. Again, it was that one soul split into two bodies for the experience of duality. But what's happening is your energies are energetically becoming merged. And as they energetically become merged, that's when in physical union you return back together in the physical 3D world. It's the divine masculine and divine feminine merge. But you hold both energies within you. For divine feminines, the divine masculine energy within you is your divine masculine. Divine masculines, the divine feminine energy within you is your divine feminine. That is the one soul. That is the merge of your energies. That's why you can feel each other. That's why you feel so familiar to each other, and not just in a soulmate compatible way. That's why you understand each other on a soul level. And communication might be difficult, but that's just the 3D that you're working through. That's just the obstacles and the blocks and the conditioning. But you understand each other on the soul level. You understand each other from the heart space. You understand each other through love. And what has just been happening is through the conditioning, through the paradigm, through your past experiences and trauma and pain, you've just been blocking that love. But what's happening now is the healer and the warrior are coming back together as one. And they showed it to me like this: healer, warrior, with a hyphen between you two. You are merged as one. You are both. Divine Feminine, you're not just a healer, you are also the warrior. Divine Masculine, you are not just a warrior, you are also a healer. You are one. You are the healer hyphen warrior. You are one. Both of you, one. That is this powerful. Look how you are blended together. Holding each other up, lifting each other up, supporting each other in this energy, in this love. That is the sacred union. That is the sacred partnership. And so I saw that. They gave me the gift of that past Saturday night when I was just feeling so much, and I didn't know because it didn't feel like mine. I even said it to him. I said, I'm going back and going back and going back and trying to make it mine, but I know it's not mine. And that's when Spirit came in later and said it was collective. That is what you're doing as counterparts. You are the healer and the warrior. And I was upset that my Divine Masculine wasn't consoling me, that he wasn't comforting me. You know? I was crying. Like, of course you want to be held. Of course you want comfort. But he stood behind me. And I understand now what his higher self was showing me, and what Spirit was showing me is that is this. That was my Divine Masculine protecting me, supporting me, having my back as I was transmuting and going through all that grief for the collective. And he held me later. But in that moment, that was what we needed. In that moment, we were healing for the collective. Okay, they just pulled back. I don't think they have anything else to say. I don't have anything else in my notes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a collective reading today and see where we are. And we're going to record the daily energy draw so you guys have a week full of those. And I'm going to start working on a series where we break down all of the channeled messages, because when I recorded the Ascension series, channeled messages, the playlist that's here on the channel, I never expected those. Those were what came through in readings. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break it down even further into short videos in a series to understand what is sacred union, what is twin flames, divine counterparts, what is this love, why are you here, what is mission, because that's important too. This is a new mission template. The healer, the warrior, when you come together in sacred union, you are coming together in your mission. Whatever you choose as your career is your career. Whatever you choose to do as a job or as career, you know, that's separate. Your mission is love. Period. Point blank. That was direct. I didn't even have to translate that. That was direct. Period. Point blank. They said that's it. Your mission is love. Your mission is the sacred union. Your mission is coming together as the healer and the warrior. Because as warriors, that's who you are as light workers. That's who you are as empaths and way showers. You are warriors of light. And you're also healing through that energy. That is your mission work. That is why you are here. And whatever you choose to do in your career, whatever you choose to do as far as service for others, that's just going to be a byproduct. But this is the new mission template, because through your love, you are healing the collective, changing the paradigm, lifting the vibrations of the planet, and expanding the universe as a whole. So we're going to get more into that in a series coming up to the channel. Hopefully I'll be recording that this week, so stay tuned for that. All right, you guys, I am sending you so much love, so much light. Keep hanging in there. I know the energies have been very intense, but we're going to see what's going on. We're going to be, channeling some more love. So stay tuned, hang in there, be well, and, just nurture and love yourself. I love you guys so much. I'll see you soon.